What's going on, people? It's Mr. back again after a nice week rest. And it's still unreal, people. I am a Premier League content creator. Um, still unreal. I can't believe I'm saying it. How's everyone feeling? How is everyone feeling today? I'm back for now and got so much content to come out. But yeah, I'm happy to be back. I've got the boys there. I've got the Mr. Do Daily. I've got Dylan. I've got Stephen. he's been to the cricket. We've got the Welsh game. I've got some Dylan. So people in the comments, how are you feeling, man? I'm back. There's so much to talk about. And if you are, like I said, if you are new to the channel, please do hit the subscribe button, like as well, and comment below, people. There's so much we could talk about. I've got transfers. It's been crazy, but I've got the panel in. And if no one knows who everyone is, I want to introduce to everyone. So first we're going to start with Mr. Dylan. How you feeling, Dylan? Dylan, you feel dark, Dylan. I can't even see you.
Oh, it's the light in my house.
It's the light in your house. It's just
I live in a cave.
Oh, he's in his cave. How you feeling, Dylan?
Yeah, all right. Just coming down now. Coming down.
Me too. Next up, we've got the Welsh Steve. How you doing, Steve?
Yeah, all good. Just buzzing, but a bit bored now. Off season, I just get the football blues. International football just doesn't do enough for me. But yeah, good. All good though.
Last but not least, I've always got to be last one. We've got the Mr. Des Older, Mr. Do Daily, or the nonsense one. How you feeling, Des?
I'm good. Like you said, I've been to the cricket. I've spent 3 of the last 4 days at the cricket. I'm going tomorrow because they've taken it into that. So plenty to keep me busy. Forest, plenty to mull over and wait for. I tell you what, I watched the Sky put the full version of Forest Liverpool, the first Sky TV game, and that kind of made me feel for the first time that we are Premier League. It was like Sky doing their bit to build us back up again. It was the full rerun. I've seen the highlights, obviously, but the whole game was on. So watching that was like, wow, they're preparing for us now.
Oh, that is mad. Like it's like I think it's sunk in now. It is really sunk in. I've had a week rest, people, so I do apologise, especially for the members as well. It's just I just needed that rest, that little rest. I've got full energy, and there's been so much to talk about. And as you know, as a title of the show, it's transfer gossip and as well. So much. Like I said, people in the comments, what players are you not happy about? We could be signing, players are leaving. This is why I got a panel here, just to talk about. And like I said, people, before we do start, like I said, there's 99 people here. Please do hit the like button, please, if you can. I'm on 29 likes. If you get me to 50 likes right now, that'd be fantastic. And subscribe to myself. Subscribe to Do Daily as well. His link is in below. So people, I think Des is on 583. People, there's 99 people in. Go and subscribe to Mr. Do Daily. His link is below. And
600, come on, by the end of the episode.
Just 17. Right, 17. Right, people, go and subscribe to Do Daily. Right, let's talk about the Forest players first, because like I said, there's players that were with us last season, and let me start with you, Dylan. And we can talk about Jed Spence, and Jed Spence is he's been so much clubs have been linked with him. And last week, Spurs seemed like late favourites to sign him. I'll get Des and Stephen's opinion on it later on. But Dylan, how are you feeling about Jed Spence going Spurs and no more Forest again?
I don't believe. I think it's too much. There's too much paper talk at the minute. Do you know what I mean? It looks like it could happen, but it's just Twitter talk, paper talk, and everything like that. Is it someone building it up, trying to build it up? Because I read an article with, is it Teesside? The paper in Middlesbrough, and they said a source close to the club have said that there is no one in advanced talks to sign him at the minute. So you don't know what to believe. But you've got the nationals like Sky and people like that still saying he's going to Spurs. So if he does, then he does. Then we move on.
What about you, Stephen? What do you think? Like I said, he's been linked with Spurs, and it's a shame. I think I've read an article today, and seeing that Forest, I don't know who did it. Forest put a place like to sign for 13 million, and then I seen Spurs make a bid for 20 million. His wage is going to be better. Plus, he's playing Champions League football as well. So, what do you think, Stephen?
I think it's going to go one way or the other, and it was Spence. I think if you look at it, is he going to really turn down Champions League football, work under Conte, one of the best managers in the world, playing for Spurs? Excuse me. Well, will he come to us and know he knows how we play, how Cooper likes to play? He'd be guaranteed first team football every week. Not saying he won't be at Spurs, but you've got to think the jump to Spurs is a massive jump. Going from where he was playing last year to Champions League football. Will the system Conte plays suit Spence? Will he be able to make his runs forward he does with us? All these things be going over his mind. He'd be talking to his agent and so on. Obviously, like Dylan touched on, or someone touched on the wage. Spurs could probably triple his wage like that. What we could offer. So I think it's more of a gamble for Spurs. Like, we know what we get in, but with Spurs, it's a massive pressure on Spence. But for Spurs to invest on a young lad, he's still 21. Is he going to be guaranteed first? They've still got a few. I think they got 2 right backs as well at Spurs still.
Yeah.
So I'd be gutted if he did go to Spurs. But like Dylan just said, like Cooper said, next man up. We have to move on. I'm sure we come on to now. We've been linked with other players.
That's later on. We've been linked with X, Y, Z players. So this is why I got straight to it. Like I said, we've been linked with everyone, and I'm not going to. We'll talk about it later on.
It's just one last thing. It's just a bit of a shame that a club's come in for him who's in the Champions League. It's always that Champions League pull. How can Spence turn that down?
100%. And there's one thing, and we know, like, if he goes to Spurs, and we know that Cooper, he does the best for these youngsters, and we know Conte is a good manager. And this for you, Des, do you think Conte is the right man to deal with Spence? Because everyone knows about the Warnock situation. He had a bad attitude, but we all know that Spence has got that little bit of arrogance and blah, blah, blah. But do you think Conte is the man to help Spence with next level?
I think what we need to say before anything, Conte seems to be the man of the moment, don't he? In terms of managers, he seems to be the one that's really doing the business. Spurs are lucky to have hold of him. Of course, the Italians tend to be disciplinarians, and that's where we're getting to with Spence, isn't it? Can he deal with somebody who's going to be strict and demanding, and make sure he plays the way he wants? I think a year under Cooper away from Warnock and what he's doing, the way Cooper's sort of reinvigorated him, got him playing to some kind of discipline. I don't see why there's a reason that Spence can't go to Tottenham and be a hell of a player and fit into their formation and do what they want. If they want him, they want him for a reason, don't they? And it's a lot of money they're talking about, 20 million. I think you get anywhere north of 10 million and you start thinking first team and will they be in and around the squad? They signed Doherty in a similar situation a couple of years ago. And he went straight into the first team. He's not really sort of gone on and nailed that down himself. But going back to your point about Conte, I just think he's learned a lot as well, hasn't he, in 12 months? We've seen the situation in the Sheffield United game when Heckingbottom pushed that ball into his chest. You'd imagine the old Spence. We didn't see that much of him, but you'd imagine what we told of him and what we heard of him sort of before he came to Forest, that he'd have reacted and it would have all gone a bit pear-shaped. What I did see is a little bit, and I didn't see it much earlier in the season, we spoke about it once or twice, was a little bit of ill discipline towards the end of the season in terms of arguing with Worrell, which I'd never seen before. It surprised me a little bit. So I was wondering if there's something on the cards already and things were already brewing. But I think the kid's 19, isn't he? If he's going to learn, now's the time. If he went to Tottenham and he was still this petulant player that we believe he was when he was 25, he's never going to change, is it? But if you've got an experienced manager like Conte, I'm sure he can get a lot out. He's getting a lot out of Spurs players. Because they was massively underperforming, weren't they? He's almost been the Cooper of the Premier League. you know, in the way he's worked with his squad, and it's not all his squad. You know, it's someone else's squad. So when he gets his pick, when he gets his chance, and one thing I will say about Italian managers, you know, there's a big thing in Italy at the moment about young English fullbacks. They absolutely love them. They love these sort of up and coming speed merchants, these athletes that get up and down the line. So again, they obviously see a way of working with him and perhaps getting even more from him. So yeah, I see it could work. My thoughts about him leaving and where the situation is. I was joking about and being a bit flippant on Twitter the other day because was it Friday? Twitter just went into absolute meltdown, didn't it?
Dude, it went meltdown ever, man. I was like, oh my God, here we go.
Aldi, and now he's gone down the Forest shop and he's off to Spurs. And, you know, and I thought it must have been going, but it appears at the moment that that's definitely not the case. But Spurs seem to be right out in front in terms of the speculation, don't they?
100%. People, like you said, there's 147 people in. Please do hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. My target I'm going for by the end of the year is 10k. Forget 9k. Get me to 10k, people. If you can, hit the subscribe button. It's completely free. This is another one. I said this one exploded. I think it came from Athletic. And I'm going to ask you, Stephen. And let me talk about it first before I get the panel in. And this is Samba. And Samba, let's keep it real. He was fantastic for us last season. Penalty shootout in the playoff, semi-final, second leg. Didn't really do much in the playoff final. Didn't really get tested. And now it's all come out that he wants to leave Forest, because he wants more money. And I think it was an article. I think it was his brother. I think Pat Samba said about. Why we're buying another keeper and that. So, like I said, I'll get Stephen in. But before I say, like I said, we are a Premier League club now. We are a Premier League club. I know I will mention about the keeper that we'll be linked with later on. Why can't we get a better keeper than Samba? This is my issue. Like I said, Samba, like I said, he's been fantastic for us. I think I want him to get a contract. But at the same time, we're a Premier League club. But like, we've got Ethan Hovarth as well, who's done fantastic for us as well. But in the Premier League, it's difficult to fish. So why not get a better keeper than Samba? But I'm going to talk to you, Stephen. What do you think about the whole situation? Like, Samba gets contract. Do you think we need to get a better goalkeeper? What's your thoughts? And people in the comments, what do you think? Do you think keep Samba as number one or get a better goalkeeper than him? Put in the comments now. We'll read them out in a minute. Steve, what do you think?
I don't know if you all agree. Obviously, we were on such a high after the final. We were all buzzing. And then that news came out of nowhere. I literally went on my phone, went on Twitter. I was like, am I reading that right? I thought it was someone like trolling or a Derby fan taking the piss or, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, what's going on? Like, where's this come from? You know, and I've heard so many stories about we were linked with Pope, and as that put Samba's nose out of joint. Are the coaches and even Cooper maybe looking at some weaknesses of Samba? And they're looking for, like you said, Ben, a more of a Premiership standard, if, you know, that kind of level up again. You know what I mean? Like I would say, Samba learned a lot from the Stoke game when he lost his head. Now, I always had this thing, right? Since that game, even though he went back to the side, I think that game showed Cooper something that maybe Cooper went, I don't know, something didn't sit right with me ever since that incident. And we were there, I was there watching live with you, Ben, wasn't I? And that moment of madness. Now, I know you can't really hold someone to one incident, but what I'm trying to say is, when you're out in the Premier League now, if he can lose his head like that, I'm just thinking outside the box. Is there little things like that the coaching staff are looking at and going, right, is this guy really going to be at the standard we need to be in the Premier League? I'm just throwing a theory out there. It's not right, they're not wrong. I'm just saying. That news came left field for me. I did not see that coming. I agree with you, Ben. There's other keepers out there, which, you know, we shouldn't just panic. I would love to see Samba in the Premier League. I'd like to see what he could offer. But again, the way he plays, will it suit the Premier League? That's
the thing. And that's what I'm trying to say. Will it suit the Premier League? Because
you've got to remember one thing. I know there's Liverpool's and Man City's high press intensity. He won't be able to just stand on the ball like he does, like he did in the Championship, because in the Premier League, it's different kettle of fish. You give one loose pass away, we 1-0 down. You know what I mean? We're going to find that out the hard, easy way and the hard way in the Premier League. We give that ball away once, bang, goal. They would kill us in the Premier League. So that's a step up. And this is all these little things are the coaching staff and the powers to be looking at Samba going, are you really the man to hold us in the Premier League? I'm just putting a theory out there. That's my opinion.
Before I get dead, I'm looking at the comments, and there's lots of comments about Samba. It's like Mr. Dan says Samba is number one. Ricky says need competition for keepers also. We do. We need competition. But like I said, we're in the Premier League now. We're not. If we was to get a championship and get rid of Samba, I thought, you know what, get rid of him. Get rid of him. But we're in the Premier League, and I think he needs. I want him to stay. I really want something to say. But I think
I've seen Dean Henderson, right, name be mentioned. I'm not saying we could afford him, but if you're looking at a caliber of keeper, if we were to get him on loan, or for example, or perm, or whatever, that's the kind of caliber keeper you're looking at. You know?
Des, what do you think, Des? Like I said, it's been mad.
I think, I've got something dawned on me today about this whole situation and why it came out a little bit out of left field and at a time when we was all still riding a wave.
Exactly.
Remember the tweet? See ya.
Yeah.
It's kind of been forgotten about. And then he tweeted that he was on holiday, didn't he?
Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering.
Didn't he put? Sorry, Des. Did he put? It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. See ya. It's been a pleasure. Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Do you think he's upset somebody at the club, and then the issues with the contract are coming out? A bit of tit for tat going on there. All right, you want to play a game?
And with the Pope link as well, we will link with Pope, and then the little things coming out. Yeah,
there were little things about being linked. Let's get something straight. Right, Brice Samba is a brilliant goalkeeper, and I think he can do it on his own. I wouldn't be wasting money on wasting a lot of money on a Premiership goalkeeper. When I think we've got one ready there in the making. His distribution was fantastic at the end of the season. So I know what Steve's saying, but when the pressure's on, Nick Pope, I would definitely take Nick Pope as a goalkeeper if we didn't have Samba. But his distribution is not as good as Samba's. We're kicking it all over the place. And I think what we have to remember is, at the end of the season when we was all saying, this guy's great, and then you start thinking, well, we're going to improve. We're going to go to the next level. Where do we get somebody in? For me, it's not necessarily that position, but everything thrown into the mix, the tweet, the sort of details about his contract, the timing, something all just seems a little bit wrong there, doesn't it? So I think there's plenty in it. I'm not sure how it'll finish and how it'll conclude, but when it comes to people linked, again, Pope's a great keeper. I was talking to a Burnley fan at the cricket, actually, who was saying they'll all leave, all these Burnley players. And I know they're talking 40 million, but he was saying you'll get him for 20. It seems a bit more realistic. But if we're spending 20 million on a goalkeeper, I know Samba comes with a package. He comes with a bit of drama and a bit of sort of worry at times. But are we going to be spending 20 million on his wages? That seems a little bit, even a more realistic price like that seems a lot of money to spend on a position that we don't necessarily need to, in time, probably. If we was gunning for the top 6 of the Premier League, we probably need someone better than Samba. But
that's my point. That's my point, Des.
Hey?
That's my point. Like I said, I'm just saying hypothetically, if we was in the top 6, we need a better goalkeeper. We do need a better goalkeeper than Samba. Because how old Samba's about 28 years old, I think. 28 years old. Yeah, he is 28. And like I said, his brother put on Instagram, like, why do we need a better goalkeeper than Samba? I'm like, I understand he's your brother, you're going to stick by him 100%, but as a football club, we want the best players as we can for this club to progress in the Premier League.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, Dor, I totally agree with that. And I just said that myself. If we're that end of the table, but at this stage, and I'm not defeatist, I want us to finish as high as possible. I think there's other areas on the football pitch we need to be spending the budget on. You know, there's lots of areas across the rest of the team. And a goalkeeper, you know, for Samba's a brilliant shot stopper. His distribution's improved tenfold. I'm not sure that's the position we need to improve on. If there's something going on and that everything's broke down behind the scenes, then they're going to move him on, aren't they? They're going to reap some money in for him, go out and spend it on Pope, I hope. And because I do think he's a great keeper. I think Pope is England's best goalkeeper, to be honest. I think he's better than Pickford. So if he's coming to a club like us, where he's going to be saving shots next season, isn't he? Yeah. You know, and I think goalkeeper is important. Absolutely, it's important in a team that's going to be defending a lot, probably in the bottom half of the table. You know, just being realistic. But you know, I think Samba's still got some time. I think this one's got a lot of legs in it. That's what I'm getting to. I just remembered about the tweet and how that possibly then sparked a chain of events that might have upset somebody at the club.
100%. Dylan, what do you think about the Samba situation?
I'm just the same as Des. There's more into it, but it's what got me was, you know, when the tweet and everything came out on Twitter and it all.
David, what was his name? I think it was Arsenal reporter David Oderstein put it out.
Yeah. But when the day it come out, when was it? Last Tuesday or something like that. But when it came out that fast. No one realised. But then what got me was there were certain people laying into the club, going, give him what he wants, give him this, give him that. And I sat there and I thought to myself, well, hold on a minute. If he's gone in for negotiations, the club's offered him he's got a year on his contract, offered him another 2 years on top of that, gave him a decent whack, but he's turned around because supposedly he said it's not financial, it's he wants to be recognised for what he's achieved. Yeah. So then, do you know what I mean? So I'm thinking to myself, well, why are people blaming the club? He might have turned around and gone, well, I want 4 years and I want an extra 20 grand on top. Do you know what I mean? So soon as people see that Samba's not signing a contract, they always lay into the club, give him what he wants, give him this, give him that. But we don't know the full story. But like you say, if he's, do you know what I mean? And then is it the French club, Lens?
Yeah.
Lens, supposedly they're going to give him a hefty wage increase and give him like a 4-year deal. Do you know what I mean? So is someone trying to play devil's advocate somewhere? Someone trying to play his agent playing Forest against? And is Forest getting to a point where they're just going to go, yes, you helped us, yes, you did this, but we're not willing to do that. So we are looking around.
It's almost like you're saying, Dills. It's like Samba is kind of holding the club at gunpoint in a sense.
He might be. I'm not saying he is.
Yeah. I can see what.
But everyone seems to lay into the club and going, it's the club's fault. It's this. Because I was reading tweets and I was like, but how do we know it's the club? They could have given him. They could turn around and say, well, this is the contract we've offered him, and we could all go, bloody hell, but he wants more. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So he could walk in and go, I want a 5-year deal, 100 grand a week.
And be number one for 5 years.
Yeah. And then turn around and say, well, no, we're not giving you that. Well, I'm not signing it. It gets leaked and everyone jumps on the bandwagon.
I said, I'm like, I don't want to disrespect any reporters. I said it last week. Like, I think the guy who did it, he's an Arsenal fan, David Oderstein. I thought, and me personally, I think he's a bellend. I don't know if you don't know him. He always does, like I said, I don't want to disrespect reporters, Foxer. But there's some reporters. We just got promoted, and he's just a guy that he likes to bring negativity to everywhere. And like Jed mentioned, when Samba said bye bye, and then 3 days later, Oderstein's put something. I thought, but we're Premier League. That's the problem now. We're Premier League now. with Premier League, and it's going to happen, and I think it's going to get worse because our club's massive, and here's what it is. There's 201 people. Thank you very much for everyone taking the time. I'm coming back for the podcast. Thank you very much. And let's hit the like button, please. There's 57 likes. Get me to 100 likes, people, if you can. And if no one knows who I am, Mr. Door with DoreOnTour. I'm back with all the podcasts. I'm Mr. Do Daily, Des Daily. Everyone we're going to call him. Make sure everyone subscribe. Next to me, there's Dylan, and the bottom as well. Next to there's Stephen as well. Next up, another prize player who's doing all right. And then I'm going to get to you, Stephen. This is about James Garner. I heard he could be coming back to Forest. What's your thoughts about it? And as well, people, what's your thoughts about James Garner? Do you think we're back in the Premier League? Do you think he should come have his first spell at the club? What's your thoughts? Now we'll look at the comments. Stephen, what's your opinion on that?
I would take him back in a heartbeat on loan, 100%. The only thing I was thinking the other day actually about Garner, I don't know if anyone agrees, the physicality of the Premier League. Is he physically there yet? That's my only worry with Garner. But as far as work rate, obviously we know all his strengths, passing, his ability to spread the ball about. 100% I'd take him back. Again, like with the Spence thing, Haag, new guy going in, likes youngsters. Garner could blow him away in pre-season and go, I'm not letting this kid go. He's, United can't get any worse, can they? They can only get better what they had. So put Garner in that midfield. He can't do no worse than the likes of Pogba and them players did for them last season. So that does worry me in a sense. So hopefully he won't have a good pre-season. So Haag will just go, right, I'll ship you out. So we're hoping that Garner has a stinker, but I would take him back in a heartbeat, 100%. I think he's just, we did see like when he really settled back into the Cooper side, he brought so much to that team. If you watch the work rate off the ball, if you just studied through the game, like in that playoff final, he run back, made that crunching tackle in the corner that the microphone picked up. It's just, I think he's Premiership class anyway, myself.
Before I get done, I've got a super chat from, sorry, Stephen, but Forest fan. Thank you for the £5. Much appreciate that. Hi, guys. Don't know about you, but I can't help getting a stupid smile on my face every time I hear words Forest or Premier League. We are Premier League. It's still a bit mad. As you know, the Premier League fixtures are out Thursday, and I will be doing a live stream as well to get everyone's verdict about the Premier League fixtures are out, and Nottingham Forest are in there. So I will be doing that on Thursday for a live stream as well. Must you, Des? Stephen mentioned about the physicality, the physical bit of James Garner in the Premier League, and it's going to be 10 times worse in the Premier League. Do you think, what's the best position for Garner in the Premier League? Do you think he should be? Because I've been speaking to other Man U podcasters. Is he better as a number 8 or a number 10 in the Premier League? Because we know it's going to be fast. People in the comments, what do you think as well? Get involved. What do you think, Des?
I personally think I would put a cheeky bid in for him now. I would put 10-15 million pound on the table just to sort of see where the land lies, first of all, before I answer that question. Because I just think if they are prepared to sell him, let's get in there and do the business quick. If that's what Steve Cooper wants. In terms of his best position, I think this season he became the player he was when he played that kind of false number 10 role. It was number 10. It was playing off Keenan Davis, but Keenan Davis was playing off somewhere else. Do you know what I mean? So it was kind of I've just made it up, but a false 10. He was playing his midfield role, but he was that further forward. It was at the time when it was almost like a rotation between Zinchenko, Yates, Colback, and Garner. And there was a couple of games where Zinchenko was on the bench. And I thought when he played with Keenan Davis, and again, it depends on the bigger picture, doesn't it? Who we're going to sign, or we're going to get Davis. When he played behind Davis, I thought them two became unplayable for the Championship. I thought they was absolutely phenomenal. I remember the Blackburn game in particular. It was absolutely brilliant. They got this this understanding. Two players you wouldn't naturally put together, as a connection within that team. But they've got this connection going, and they were linking up, creating chances for each other. And it happened in other games. I think the Reading game as well was another one. I think it'd be. I think it depends who else comes in, but like I say, I definitely put a bid in for him. I think he's got all the attributes to take that game. Steve mentions the physicalities, but I've seen like the challenges. Some of the strong challenges going in. He's got that work ethic to get about, get forward, sort of defend from the front almost. That's why I kind of like him in that role I've just explained, where he can almost do a lot of midfield work. But then when it comes to the guile, when it comes to what he can do, I rave about that clip. I sent it to you at the time, I think, Dor. When we played Blackpool, a Man U fan had done a 3-minute clip of every single James Garner touch in that game.
Yeah.
And he didn't score in that game. I don't think he assisted in that game. But when you looked at every single touch he had, you realise what a player he was. Doing the dirty work, doing the stuff that we don't appreciate naturally. Looking in as blinded fans from the sideline. Do you know what I mean? But when you see it back, or when you see it on TV, you see some of that work he does in getting across, and even winning headers. Little things like that. Every single touch was a contribution, and I think because of that, and because he's developed so much, and he's a confident player. I look back at one of these episodes. It was the Fulham game when I said we'd get to the playoffs.
Liar, Des is a liar. I can't remember it.
I said in that very episode, I'm going to sort of be honest here. I think he should go back to Man U because his confidence is shot. I said there was a good player in there, but his confidence had been shot. And what happens is you start losing the basics. He built on that, didn't he, from that Barnsley game? I remember he didn't have a great game in that first Barnsley game, but he built on it, worked with Cooper, and look where it's taken him. And if he's made this progress under Cooper so far, why can't he go that next step again? If you were looking at a James Garner, like Southampton, Leeds, they'd be thinking, shall we put a cheeky bid in? That's a guy who's done it in the Championship. He's a Man U player. These are a young 21-year-old we can develop. So why wouldn't we develop him that little bit more? So for me, I think they should be making him a priority. That's what I'm getting to ultimately.
100%. Before I get to Leon, I'm just looking for the comments. I saw a comment from Dave. How you doing, Dave? Shout out to Dave. He's been to every away game as well. I love James Garner to be 1 or 2 loans next season, or as a permanent signing. May happen if Ting Hao may get a marquee signing instead of academy product for United. Yeah, why not? Like I said he's a good player, and Des touched on it. Like that period. I think when he signed for Forest, I think he made his debut against Derby. And there's a period he wasn't great. And all Forest fans were saying, even myself, I think he should go back because he wasn't good at all. And for him as well to step up and do what he did for us, I think he really give a clap to James Garner. But I don't know. I was looking for the comments and people want him back. I've seen this from Joe's, Alexander. He'd be good signing. He'd be good going back on another loan. This is from Paul. How you doing, Paul? Would like Garner to stay. Man United may want to look at him. We all definitely look at him. But I think it was an article. He's a good to see pre-season and then come back. I just don't want the situation with what happened last season. I don't know if you lot like to know. People in the comments as well. He was at Man United. He was looking at him, and we brought him to. The Derby game, wasn't it? Because I think everyone was after him. So I don't want that situation to be so late before the season starts. So because I think he needs game time, and you can't come to Forest with no game time because we'll get absolutely hammered in the Premier League. Dylan, what do you think about James Garner?
Yeah, I'd have him back, no problem. But I agree with Des. I'd put a cheeky bid in for him. Do you know what I mean? Because to me, the new Man United manager, he's going to want to look at him, but he's got a lot of pressure on him to get that team up in the Premier League, up into the top 3 probably. So is he going to really take a chance on a young lad that's not really proven in the Premier League? So if that's the case, do you know what I mean? We know he can work under Cooper. Cooper can develop him because he already has. Like, say, when we first got him back at the start of the season, we all turned around and went, Jesus Christ, where's Garner gone from last season? Do you know what I mean? And then as soon as Cooper come in, game by game by game by game, he just got better and better. So I don't want him back on loan. I want to try and get him permanent. Just for the sheer fact of Cooper, because look what Cooper's done with these young lads already. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, Man United are going to look at him. But like you say, but we don't want it to be a week before the season. Oh yeah, he's coming back to Forest, because like you say, you've got pre-season. You've got to get all your tactics right, all your team to gel together, everything, the style of football playing. So, like I say, put a cheeky bid in for him. See if we can get him quick.
I tell you one thing about Garner, right? Ever since the Houghton days, since Houghton signed him, Garner has been literally the first name on the team sheet.
Yeah,
at Forest, and that's the one thing I hope that sways Garner, is that he's thinking about his head. And you've made some good points. You know, I did say earlier about Targ looking at him, and United can't get any worse. But will he have the game time at United? Yeah, he'll be playing for a massive club and so on. But he knows if he comes to us, even in the Premier League, he's going to be one of the first names on the team sheet. Guaranteed.
Well, I just saw a comment about Ethan Howarth, and I'm going to get everyone's opinion about it in a minute. Like, Ethan Howarth, the American goalkeeper, said that he's unsure of what is happening with his Forest career next season. So we'll make it short and sweet. Like, do you think Howarth should stay at Forest next season, Des?
Yeah, I think so. It depends what his career aspirations are, doesn't it? When he thinks, like Samba, that he's better than he is, or because there's probably, without disrespecting the guy, there's probably third choice goalkeepers in the Premier League better than Horvath. So if he wants to stick around at a Premier League team and be part of the squad and in and around things, and perhaps if Samba goes, he becomes the first choice number 2 again and that kind of thing. He might be equally as offended, because they're talking about Samba possibly going and he's not going to get his chance. I wouldn't get rid of him, but I wouldn't, I wouldn't lose any sleep over it if he decided he wanted to go and do something. He might fancy a championship move. He might fancy a move and think, I held my own there last season, and he might want to be number 1. And then we'd all kind of follow his career with some kind of like eye on what he was doing. Do you know what I mean? With some pride in the fact that he did it at Forest. But
you've got to remember one thing with Horvath now. He's going to fight for a place in the World Cup squad.
Yeah. That's the thing, and that's why I've just said, because he started for USA tomorrow in the qualifiers, and he just it's like he doesn't know what he's doing with Forest next season.
The US coach will probably go to him or his agent and say,
"You've got to play.
I need him playing regular football for the World Cup," because there's no point in him going 4 months without even having 90 minutes. He may play we're not even like in the League Cup, say 2 games in the League Cup. Before that, 2 games in 4 months is not going to be enough.
I'll tell you what as well. Somebody sent me a clip off a real top American podcast about USA football, and it's a massive talking point. Their goalkeeping spot, like it is with Samba and all that a few months ago. It was at that point, and someone sent it me because they'd read out a comment I'd made somewhere, which was really interesting. But I spoke about his distribution, and the Americans were saying, is that going to cost him? Is the fact he's not playing at Forest going to cost him? So again, that's a really good point, Steve, that he's got that World Cup place, hasn't he? And if he's not playing, it depends how the coach looks at it. He might say, if you're not playing, you can't really play for me.
Mm-hmm. Right, people, that's the Forest players that are on loan that we were going to talk about. And as mentioned before the show, we've been linked with X, Y, Z players. I've not got time. We've been here for 40 minutes and we've not even got a chance to talk about the players we've been linked with. There's 80 likes, people. Go on, please. There's 218 people in. That is amazing. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time.
I thought you were going to say 80 players linked with us, and yeah, you're right.
No, specifically, 1,000 players been linked with us. So people in the comments, what players have we been linked with? Because I can't be bothered. My list is so long, but I'm taking it down from. I'm not reading them all out.
Let's make a short list.
So people like to, if you put in the comments below, what players do you think should come to Forest, and we'll talk to the panel. Hit the subscribe as well, people. If you can, hit the subscribe for me. Hit the subscribe for Mr. Do Daily. Get there to 600 if you can. There's 240 people in. Get subscribing now. Right, the first player I'm gonna start with, and let me start with you, Dylan. Nico Williams. He played for Fulham last season. Fulham liked him. We know about Jed Spence. He possibly go to Spurs, but what's your opinion on Nico Williams as well? People in the comments as well, what do you think about Nico Williams? Do you think he's good enough for Forest? We know he's got a good relationship with Brennan Johnson, so Brennan Johnson might talk to him to come to Forest. But Dylan, what's your opinion on Mr. Williams?
Well, I've not seen much of him, but listening to a few people, friend of ours, Craig, turned around and said to me, I think before anyone mentioned it, he turned around to me and said, "This Nico Williams, we should be looking at him." So since he mentioned it to me, I was like, "All right, fair enough." So and more it's come about. But you got to look at it this way: if Spence isn't coming, if he's going to Spurs, then like I say, we move on. Look at this Nico Williams. He played in the Fulham side. They went up as champions. But the one thing that would draw me to him is because Wales are going to a World Cup. So he's going to want to play in the World Cup. So he needs to be playing games. He needs to be playing. He needs to be on form. Do you know what I mean? And then like the likes of Johnson as well. Johnson's going to be wanting to getting into the squad for the World Cup. So that partnership could work wonders for us, as well as them developing it for their country. So, do you know what I mean? So, obviously, how old is he?
He's got 20, I think. 22, yeah, early 20s.
Fits the blueprint straight away. Do you know what I mean? So, therefore, it's like, if he can play, do you know what I mean? I don't think he's as quick as Jed. But
no, he's not quick as Jed. He's a good player, though.
No, exactly. But do you know what I mean? Jed's a different kettle of fish. Remember when we signed Jed back in August? Last minute, everyone was like, "Oh God, here we go." Do you know what I mean?
I was one of them. I put my hands out for that one.
But at the end of the day, it was like all the players under Houghton were diabolical. Do you know what I mean? So
I disagree with you. I thought it was fantastic under Houghton.
but the thing that gets me with these young players like Williams, if you can get him in with Cooper, that to me is where, do you know what I mean? There'd be probably Wales national managers saying to him, "Look, if you've got a chance to go to Forest, do you know what I mean? Cooper can develop you and make you work towards making sure you're in the first team place for the World Cup."
100%. I'm not gonna go through the panel about the same player because, like I said, we've been linked with X, Y, Z players. So who should I talk about Morgan Gibbs White? Let me talk to you, Des, because this player, he's worked with Cooper, and I like him. I like him because he scored past Forest every single time. Every time, like he did
except for penalties.
But no, he did. No, Stephen, he scored against us in the semi-final, didn't he? Second leg. So he did score. So.
Yeah, he missed the penalty.
Yeah, he missed the penalty as well. But and people in the comments, what do you think about Morgan Gibbs White? Do you think he'd be a good player for us? Yes or no? Des, what do you think?
I'm glad you mentioned him because, for me, and obviously it's an exciting name to be linked with Forest, and we saw a lot of him towards the end of the season. We've seen his qualities, and he is a quality player. I'm going to kind of contradict myself a little bit on what I said about Garner. If we are at risk of losing Garner and Zinkernagel, I think this guy kind of kills two birds with one stone.
Yeah,
I think bringing Gibbs White almost replaces that player. If we can afford him, if Cooper still fancies him, we know he's worked with him in the past. I think he's almost the missing piece in there. When Zinchenko didn't quite have that final ball. When he didn't beat that man, I think number 10 is probably going to be his best position ultimately, Gibbs White. I know sometimes he plays off to the right hand side or left hand side or wherever. But for me, that would be the one I was really I'd go out and get. And of course, I know this is about Gibbs White, but Sander Berg, for me, if the two of them, would be a great double signing. And I know Sheffield United will be probably the most reluctant club in the world to sell to us. Yeah. But again, sort of what I said about how we would sort of almost suit two positions and two players. If we lost them, he'd be one, and then someone to really solidify that midfield behind. I think that gives us great attacking options with the likely options we've got. Possibly Davis, Brennan Johnson if he signs a deal. I think Gibbs White would fit in perfectly, and someone like Jed or Nico Williams just complement that sort of ethos around the team, and I think he'd almost fit in like a glove. For me, that would be the one I'd make number one priority. Because again, he's that young player. We're looking at good championship players, good young players, loan players from top teams. If it was anybody else, would be other than the fact he's not our player, like we said about Garner, you'd be going, go and get him. I know he's at arrival. I know there was that thing a couple of weeks ago with the whole playoff thing, but let's just go out and get him, because I just think he's got so much to add to a Premiership team, and he's ready again. Like Johnson, probably, like Spence, like Williams, he's ready for that next stage. And with a manager like what we've got, who's brilliant at working with young players, I'd expect him to become an even better player. Because anybody we signed, I expect Cooper to make better now. Probably getting a bit complacent with that, but I expect every signing to become better under him. And if you sign a player with that much potential already, I think you for whatever the fee is, of course we can't go stupid, but for whatever the fee is, it's going to be worth a little bit more in a season or two.
100%. Like I said, we've been linked with every player, but I like Gibbs White. I like him. I think he'll suit Forest. And I think it was at Wolves, wasn't it? I think it was at Wolves what score was the League Cup when we lost 4-0. I liked him then, so him bringing to Forest, why not? Stephen, I'm going to ask you about Maitland-Niles. Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I like him. I've always liked him. I think he's a player that can play in that midfield alongside Ryan Yates. He can play right back as well. He can play anywhere in the back four. But people in the comments as well. This is I won't say I'm not shocked, because, like I said, I think he's worked with Cooper.
Yeah.
If I do remember, what do you think about this one?
I think that versatile side of him is good, but what I have heard is he is very adamant about playing midfield, and I've seen a few comments through Twitter and so on. Is that like he's been at loan at West Brom and he and two other clubs, but I think he wants to get into that midfield role. So is it a case of we got that position for him? But is it a case of then we'll end up saying to him, well, sorry, you're going to have to play either right or left? So I would definitely take him, or what I've seen of him in the past. I haven't seen much. Is he at Roma now, isn't he? Is he Roma on loan?
He was on loan.
He was on loan at Roma, but he's back at Arsenal now. But
what I've seen of him in the past, tidy player, looks quite quick. He's not ready. He's mid-20s as well, I think. He's a decent age. Yeah, I would take him. It's just that versatile, he can just fit in. He's like the James Perchini we used to have, slot him in,
Anywhere. Anywhere.
Anyway, yeah. But it's just that when I just read through them comments, especially from West Brom fans saying he was quite adamant he wanted to play centre mid, and because he didn't play there, he wasn't too happy. So just maybe that's a bit of a glitch in it. Will Cooper offer him a midfield role? So have to wait and see.
We've been linked with so much players, but
can I just say, sorry, from this part of the world in Wales as well, about the Nico Williams situation, and Dylan touched on it. It's a really good point Dylan said. Page, the Welsh manager, could have a quiet little word in the background somewhere saying, if he joins Forest, him and Johnson down that side can only benefit Forest and benefit Wales.
Yeah.
Because Page will want as many Welsh players playing in the same environment going into the World Cup, because we haven't got the most vast number of players, across like England have, the depth of players. So that can only, you never know, Page could just say, look, quiet word is here, join Forest. You'll be playing down that side, and that can only benefit both Forest and Wales. So watch this space.
Plus Cooper is Welsh himself, so therefore could be looking at it that way either to help him out as well.
There's two.
Sorry, I've got one quick point on that.
Always one in the day. Always do daily.
The fact that we've still got to sign Brennan Johnson up, so
that's the problem.
That's number one. That's number one priority.
That, because if Spence leaves, Brennan Johnson might be thinking, well, that's my mate. That's a guy I've worked so well with this season. Is it time for him to go? No idea. But then, if he goes and signs someone he thinks he can work with, it shows some intention. We're signing a player from Liverpool, an international player. If it transpires, if it happens, if it comes to that, and we do lose Spence, and Johnson then might think, well, that's great. I've got another guy I know I can work with. I can do this. Shows intention again. Morgan Gibbs White maybe, and again everything might fit in together with that one signing.
Yeah.
Like I said, there's 236 people in. Please do hit the like button, please. There's 95 likes. Get me to 150 likes before the show is done. Please just hit it. Subscribe as well, people, to my channel, Dez's channel as well. Please do support our channel because, like I said, we're in the Premier League, baby. So please hit the subscribe button and like as well. There's
Premier League, baby.
Premier League, baby. It's good. It's amazing to say.
And what league are we in?
Premier League, baby. Right. This might rush some little feathers to people. And I said I was on a channel, a Newcastle channel. There was two players I was talking about, and let me talk to I can talk to them one by one. Jamal Lascelles, he's been told that he can leave. People in the comments, would you want Carl Darlow and Jamal Lascelles back at the City ground? People in the comments, I didn't disagree already. Let me go for you, Dill. Jamal Lascelles, yes or no?
No. The reason being is because I've got a good friend who's a Newcastle fan, and he says Lascelles.
Is it Paul?
No, guy I work with, right? And he's a hardcore Newcastle fan. And he says when they got Lascelles from us and he worked under Benitez, he was awesome. He was absolutely awesome. He was a rock for him. He was everything. He was the captain and stuff like that. He says, but since Benitez went and all the rigmarole, it just went, he wasn't the player he was. But not saying that if he did come back to Forest, because he's a Nottingham boy, isn't he?
Yeah, no, he knows he's from Derby.
Well, we'll call him a Nottingham boy then. You know what I mean, he can't help that. But do you know what I mean? Maybe he could come in and do a job. But what I've heard of him is he's hit his peak and now he's coming down. That's my opinion.
No, that's a no then.
That's a no. I think there's better. There's better players out there.
Right. So Dylan says no. But before I get to Des and Stephen, there's quite a lot of people saying no. So Colin says no. Guy Marriott says no 3 times. Colin says to both. What do you mean to both? Yes. Is that yes or no? No. Like so, Alexander says Dave. Dollar maybe if Samba goes. Okay. Stefan S says for the right price. To get rid of Lolly, waste of space. You lot love him for some strange reason. Well, this to me is what it is. Teddy Bear says Lascelles got Premier experience, but neither Aldale. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'm just looking at the comments as well. And this is another one. Cooper might get the best out of him. Before I get to Des and Steven, I personally said, I said that on the podcast, and this is my opinion, don't shoot me. Why not Lascelles? Why not Lascelles? Darlow, but Lascelles, that Cook has got the experience for the Premier League. Give him a 2-year contract. Because I think we've got to start from the back. Jamal Lascelles will be a fantastic signing for Forest. Don't give him extremely money for him. Give him a 2.5-year contract and see from there. But me personally, I want Lascelles. Darlow, no. Des, what you thinking? I can't read your mind. What's Des thinking?
I wouldn't have any of them. Darlow's not good enough. Let's face it, for the last 2 or 3 years, they've been playing in a team that's been lucky to stay up. Yeah. And until the investment this year, they were only going one way, weren't they? And when they got investment, they signed some better players. For me, Darlow, there was a spell when Darlow was at Forest last time where he looked like he was going to be a real top goalkeeper. But before he left, he'd started to drop. His level of performance had started to drop. And when it comes to Lascelles, I was never a fan in the first place.
Why? Why? Come on.
Because for me, I want my defenders to defend. I want them to pick people. I want them to block. I want them to rough people up. That guy couldn't mark. He couldn't mark a piece of paper with a pen, right? He just lost position so much. How he had a career at Newcastle, Benitez must be a bloody miracle worker with defenders, because how he did so well in the Premier League, and don't get me wrong, he must have improved. He must have got better and better.
He was the captain, Des. He was the captain of Newcastle.
Oh, he's not now. I think we should sign him. I just don't think. I just don't think he was a great player. I thought we got a great deal for them. Apart from the fact we should have got a little bit more money because of the prospect, because there were prospects, and it seemed like a bad move at the time.
Well, they financed this, didn't they? Finance Antonio and Brice Samba.
Yeah, but the fact of the matter, we got the better end of the deal. We got the better end, but in terms of Lascelles, for me, it's not good enough. Never has been good enough for the Premier League. And he's forged a bit of a career up there. He's on the drift. You know, he's not as good as he was at Newcastle.
He's 28 though, Des. Come on, Des. For experience, Premier League experience, we need that.
Do you know the only one thing that he's got is probably a bit quicker and a bit more mobile than one or two we've got. Just to sort of play devil's advocate a little bit, he's probably got a little bit in there where he can sort of get about. Yes, he's got experience, but experience doesn't beat ability. You know, you still got to have ability. If you can have all the experience in the world, if your legs are gone. And to be honest, that's what I think's happened. His legs have gone a little bit, and for me, it's a bad move for Forest. You know, we've got this young, vibrant team, a young manager who's great at working with young players and getting the best out of people. Signings like Lascelles aren't the one, do you know? And you might somebody might throw Steve Cook back at me, but look what he's done with Steve Cook. Look how he's embraced the players. I don't think Lascelles has got the same kind of motivation, and he's not the same character as Steve Cook. You know, Steve Cook's just he's just a bloke's bloke. You know, the women love him as well. He's just a rugged.
You love him. You guys love him.
Who's up for the fight. You know, but I don't think he's got the same kind of desire to keep his career going. And I think all he'd be doing is dropping back down the levels, and ultimately he'd just become a bit of a squad player. You know, and do we need to be sort of investing in squad players when we've just gone up a level? We need to be investing in first team players. What's the point buying anyone for the squad? Because there isn't. Because we have been a championship team for so long. We need to put all the money into players that are going to make Forest better. Don't want to see free Greek signings, you know, come in, because what's the point? Or Portuguese or whatever who are never going to play. And I just feel Lascelles would be one of those. He'd be a player who'd come in and float around the squad, and I don't think he's better than what we've got. And it's as simple as that. So I'm quite strong in my opinion that I don't want Lascelles. Watching
we can tell everyone. We can tell Des doesn't want Lascelles, but I disagree with Des. Everyone's allowed to disagree, agree. I want Lascelles back. Des doesn't want Lascelles back. Dylan doesn't want Lascelles back. Can we make it 2-2? Stephen, what do you think? Do you want Lascelles back?
Drum roll. I sit on the bend fence with a son. Sorry. I have a soft spot with Lascelles. I don't know why. I think at the time we were so shit at the end of that season, and Lascelles, he stuck out for me at the latter end of that season. You could just tell he was going on to the Premier League. You know, Darlow, I wouldn't take back. No. I call him Flappy. He just flaps. He's not good enough. No offense. But Lascelles, I would take back. I agree with you, Ben. I'm on the bend fence with this one. What I would say, though, if you're not going to... I've seen a few comments, not just saying it because he's Welsh, but I think we should go in for Joe Rodon as well.
Yeah.
That guy, right? And anyway, why are we looking at defenders? Because my boy McKenna, he's just going to defend everything on his own.
Shout out to Paul McKenna, to the McKenna.
Paul McKenna, yeah.
Well done to McKenna.
But if you put Joe Rodon in the back line of them, he can only add.
Good player as well, isn't it? Good young
He's
player.
a great player. Joe Rodon.
Do you know what? Do you know what? We should just sign the whole of the Wales squad.
Right.
We know
Wait, stop there. Because, like I said, we've reached that hour, but there's one player
Gareth
that
Bale.
I want to talk about, and it's been coming, and he is Welsh, and this is what I want to reply to Stephen, and everyone else can have a say. Gareth Bale.
You're asking me first, you?
No.
Right. Let me say something. Right. Everyone's talking about Gareth Bale. Stephen, I'll be last. I'll be last with this one. Because you're Welsh, Stephen.
Yeah.
People in the comments, what do you... Right, before I got a super chat and a member. Everyone think about what's their thoughts about Gareth Bale.
I've already got mine.
Right, let me say before, Kieran, I can't wait to get Des Warnock out of retirement. Thank you for the £1.97 shout out. And I've got a new member as well. Thank you, Ashley, for being a member. Like I said, it supports my channel, and I said it helps. Like I said, it grows my channel as well. We're back in the Premier League, and it helps me get. I know people have been moaning about Ben getting a new camera, Ben getting a new this, Ben. Listen to me, it costs us money. So as well, people, thank you as well for being a member as well. Right, let's get back to it. This is the last subject before we do get off. Stephen,
yeah,
Gareth Bale, yes or no?
Right, from a financial machine, from putting bums in seats, merch, sales, everywhere around the world, yes, because he would instantly just draw eyes to Forest in that aspect. You can't knock his ability. You know, he can just turn a game like that. The negative spin, is he just going to come for the World Cup just to get game time with his heart really be in it? Is his try? I was watching playing for Wales against Belgium and a few other games before. His work rate isn't there. I know he's 32 now, 33. Is he going to put the work rate in? But just give him the ball. He can come up with something special. To me, if you get offered Gareth Bale, you're going to take him. That's my opinion. I'm not just saying it because he's a Welsh superstar, but he is, on his day, unplayable. It's just got to, just where you got to look at it. If he was to say, I want to go join Forest, how can you turn him down? That's the way I look at it.
Okay. So, Stephen, are you yes or no?
I'm leaning more towards
He hasn't said it properly.
I'm leaning more towards yes.
Okay. I know Dylan's answer. You don't need to know Dylan's answer. Dylan, I already got your answer.
Oh, please. Yes, please. I want to say what I want to say.
Have you say, Dylan? What do you think?
Right, don't get me right. Don't shoot me, anyone, but
shoot him.
But Gareth Bale is a good player. He was a good player. He is, right? The way I think of it is, how many games are we going to get out of him before the World Cup? He's going to always have that ability, that thing in the back of his mind of going, well, if I play too many games, have I got a chance of pulling a hamstring? Yeah. What about if I get injured for the World Cup? Do you know what I mean? I agree that the limelight will come on Forest going, oh, look, they've got Gareth Bale, but that'll last a week. Do you know what I mean? The financial side, I can't see any financial side too because he's not Ronaldo or anyone like that. But
he is a big brand, mind.
Yeah,
he's a massive brand. That's the difference.
Yeah,
he's a massive brand.
Dills, that guy is worth. He earns over 600 grand a week on sponsorship.
But that's he played for Real Madrid.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not going to just but he's still carrying that brand, isn't he?
Yeah, I'm not saying that if he come into the Forest team, he won't do well. But what I'm looking at is how many games are you going to get out of him from now till the World Cup? Do you know what I mean? How much is it going to cost us? Is it going to take a place up to get someone who's probably got a couple more years left in him? Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. If he's going to come, then yeah, let him come. Do you know what I mean? But that's the only thing I look at.
Yes or no? You've not answered the question. Yes or no?
No.
Oh, okay. Before I get Des, this made me laugh. This is from Glenn. Shout out to Glenn, massive friend of mine. How much would Bale be on? Will be on play a couple of rounds a week in Nottinghamshire. We all know he loves his golf. There's quite a lot, so maybe that might send him to Nottingham. But yeah, I'll have my opinion on Des. Wait, no, what? Let me have my say before I get Des in. Stephen said about his brand. This is the main point where you can people more eyes be watching Nottingham, more money. More fans, but the problem is his age. How old is he? 32, 33? 32. He's got a World Cup. Do I really think he could do the job at Forest? I don't know. I'm on the edge of this one.
Can I just say something before Des says, all right? Did anyone see Cascarino's comment on TalkSport? When he said that Bale should join Forest about the way we play.
Yeah, I saw that.
About the counter-attack. Now, one thing I would say, Cooper's such a smart guy. If he were to sign Bale, we all know he doesn't do the press, but then would we have to play the Bale strength then by getting the ball?
And that's why, you know what? I'll say it. I'll say yes, I want him. Because of money, the brand. But same time, I don't know.
I don't see it. I don't see the brand. I don't see it. I think he would sell more. He would sell more golf clubs. This now. Do you know what I mean? Don't get me wrong. I'm not slating him because I like him. I like Gareth Bale, but the way he is in his career now is we all know one thing: he wants the World Cup, which he deserves.
One thing I would say, he has got a brand behind him because the Chinese tried to sign him a few years ago. The Chinese league. So there's a brand in him. And the Chinese league wanted to throw stupid money at him, but he stayed at Madrid.
Yeah, but they'll throw stupid money at anyone.
Yeah, but you know what I mean. They wanted that superstar in the league, didn't they? They ended up with.
Right, last but not least, Des. I think he's got his thoughts on red air. Des, let it all out, Des. Come on, Des.
Come on, Des, make it two. Make it.
I agree. I agreed with you, Des, earlier.
You know, after what I said about Lascelles, after everything I said there about a player on the down or whatever, the hard thing in all of this, if Gareth Bale's agent came and said he'd like to play for Steve Cooper, he'd like to play for Forest, then I'm not sure you can really turn it down. Would I personally put all my eggs in one basket? I don't think so. You know, because he's got an eye on the World Cup. He knows he's got to go and play somewhere because he's not at Real Madrid anymore. For me, if I was him, I'd go and play in China now and earn all that money. You know, I like him. I've loved him as a player in the time. And when he was at Spurs, I thought he was great. But I don't think he adds a great deal at times. A Premier League team, what was he doing at Spurs? Not
he didn't
great.
do nothing.
He didn't do nothing.
He didn't do it, did it?
He had quality in front of him, and he's not going to have the same level of quality. But for me, I don't know. I don't think he tears it up in the Premier League anymore. I think he can do a job to some degree. But again, is he going to hold the ball up when we need that doing? Is he going to chase it down? Is he as quick as he used to be? Perhaps he is. Perhaps he can still beat a man. But
take a free kick, mind.
Yeah, he can take a free kick. probably better than Zinchenko. But again, I just think right now there's probably better options and better players to fit Forest's system. If the opportunity arose, I wouldn't be against it. I think he would sell a few shirts, but like Dylan, I don't see the massive brand in it. He'd sell shirts to Forest fans because every kid in Nottingham would have one on. But I don't think much more than that. That the Gareth Bale hype is huge. I don't know. Obviously, Steve sees him for Wales. I remember him for Spurs when he came back, and I thought he didn't do a great deal. There's been Welsh games where he's made a massive difference. But again, I'm not no disrespect, Steve, but Wales probably aren't as good as Forest, in terms of the football team.
But one thing I would say, Bale, right, would have walked into England's side for the last decade.
That's the thing, but that's my problem.
Absolutely. I'm not saying
for years England didn't have that world superstar. We did. Wales did have Bale. We had that. We just didn't have the squad. England have always had the squad. Wales have had that superstar in Bale. You had Rooney.
They've always had. Wales have always. The thing is with Bale, with Wales, is he's that one superstar.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's that one where everybody gravitates to, where everyone else has to play second fiddle to Gareth Bale. Because I've been watching telly tonight and about Wales, and it's just Gareth Bale. And I think to myself, well, yeah, he is, but you've got to think of the likes of Johnson, who scored the other night, and the other people, the other players that play for Wales. Do you know what I mean? He tweeted, see, he signs for Forest, right? Plays on the first game of the season. Bang, his cruciate ligament's gone. That's it. Do you know what I mean? The whole fairy tale's finished, isn't it? And he's going to have that in his mind. Do you know what I mean? So, like Des said earlier,
I think he works really hard. He'd work really hard if he was playing and starting games until the World Cup. But again, what incentive is there for a guy who's done what he's done? He has been an absolute superstar, one of the players of a generation. But the problem is these players come to an end, don't they? Everybody comes to an end at some point, and it looks like a move. What motivation would he have to run onto that ball in the 89th minute, thinking his hamstring might pop?
Yeah, exactly. That's my point of view.
And especially the closer it gets to the World Cup, and then you're losing for the World Cup, and then where's the motivation after that? I questioned it with the Cells, and these guys are still professional. Don't get me wrong, I shouldn't question them as much as I probably have, because they're professional guys. This is their life, this is their livelihood. But with Bale, who's a little bit older still, I'm just not sure. I'm not sure it's the way.
I'm 50-50 with it. There's something I'm 50-50 with. Like I said, he's a fantastic player. But there's a time with, like I said, when he came to Spurs, I think it was lockdown when he came to Spurs, wasn't it?
He played in a Mourinho. Yeah.
He played in Mourinho, and he wasn't.
Well, everyone made a big song and dance about that. And he played a couple of games, and then the bubble just went. Do you get what I mean?
I don't know, but I think
his own downfall was because Madrid and Zidane treated him so badly. He was my only disappointment in Bale, right, is he was quite happy to sit in his backside in Madrid and earn millions of pounds and not playing, where he should have been out there playing the football. And he's holding up flags saying Wales, Madrid, or Wales, Golf Madrid and all that, and winding up the Spanish media and the Madrid fans and all that. And then he's got, 5 Champions League medals or something stupid like that under his belt. And he's quite happy to take his... That's my only disappointment in Bale, where, and then people are saying he shouldn't go to China because it's a joke league. Then when he came back to Spurs, he didn't do anything. I think his own fame and his money was his own downfall. Because at Spurs, that first time, he was unplayable, wasn't he? He was a world beater. Absolute world class. And then...
How much wages is he going to cost Forest for that? To say if he comes for 6 months, how much is that? Yeah, you get him on a free transfer, but is he going to cost 50, 60 grand a week?
A lot of his wages built over sponsorship, though. A lot of the bulk of it is sponsorship with him.
But guys, I won't worry about his wages. We can't control that. If Cooper wants him, he wanted him. I just think it'll be like Steve said.
Hungry. I think you know what it is. Hungry, being hungry.
Yeah, I want somebody hungry and want to
hungry, yeah.
shirt. And I think what Steve said nailed it. 2-3 years ago, if he'd have made that move to China or
America,
Tottenham or
United
America,
wanted him,
or
didn't they?
to whomever, it would have showed that he had this desire to think, I'm a wealthy superstar. Do you know what I mean? I still want to play football. I still want to get out there.
Yeah.
Because without getting too sort of sentimental about it, lots of us in that position would just go, I want to play football. I want to go and do my job. Because he'd won so much there as well, he had no desire to go and do.
Yeah.
For me, he had no desire to go and do it, even at Spurs. Who would hold a massive place in his heart. Mm-hmm. So why, apart from a World Cup looming, would he have that desire to not sit on the bench at Forest?
It's almost like he would be coming to us and he'd be on his terms, not Forest's terms. He'd be saying, I'll come to you, but I'll have to play X amount of games, X amount of time. Because like Dylan said, it's hard for Bale because this is going to be his last World Cup. It's the first World Cup in 64 years for Wales. He knows he's going to be captain there. And if he pops an hamstring now or his ligament goes in the first game, he's done. But then how does he get the game time? He can't sit in the backside.
But the thing is, I said this the other day, the thing is with Bale, right, is he's Mr. Wales. Plain and simple, he's the captain. If he come to Forest and say, right, I'll come and play for you, but I only want to play X amount of games, but I only want to play the last 20 minutes because I don't want to get injured, right? He goes back to Wales. A 30 or 40% fit Gareth Bale still gets in the squad because of his name. Do you know what I mean?
Sorry, I was really commenting. And I think I mentioned about Spurs, and this is from Forest. And thank you, Ant, for being a member. Guys, you're wrong about lasting at Spurs. He played 20 games, scored 11 goals, and scored 2 assists. Was that the COVID season? That was the COVID season, wasn't it? But if I remember, if Spurs was desperate, they wanted him. No, but I think Spurs wanted him, but then he drained out that right at the end of the season. Then he thought, nah, I'm going back to Madrid now. I know my 600k a week. So
the Djed point about United, though, if I remember right, when they were sniffing around him, United kept on missing out on Champions League football, and I think Bale held back because he what the rumours I heard, he wanted to join United because they were missing out on the Champions League. He didn't join them. I think he always had his eye on United, the United move, but it just never came. And then obviously ended up going back to Spurs.
He should have gone somewhere, Steve. To get out there and to prove he wasn't this guy. Yes, the Spanish media might be labelling him this, that, and the other, but then. And I know he in many ways he's got nothing to prove to anyone because he can do what he wants. But for me as a footballer, and if you're looking at potential clubs further down the line, he should have been out there playing for somebody.
There was
not sat on the bench. And
sorry, Dad, go on.
There's that stat there. When he went to Spurs, yes, he did score some goals. He scored an important hat-trick against somebody. I can't remember. But again, it was 20 games. How many times did he sit on the bench? How many times did he miss out? And you're thinking, wow, this guy's got so much ability. And all you'd really want from him is to be sort of seeing him wanting to get out there, wanting to get on the pitch. Yeah. And then when that move didn't happen to Spurs or whatever happened there, get out again. Don't go and sit on the bench at Real Madrid for another year. Get out and say, I want to go to the next World Cup. I want to prolong my career. I want to play as long as I can. And if he seemed like that sort of character, I'd go, yeah, Forest. If Cooper feels this guy can add a bit of star quality and bring something to the squad around him and get something from it, then I'd be all for it. I just don't think the motivation and the keenness to see the job through. Forest needs somebody to see the job through. Yeah. We're in this sort of wave of progression, I guess, is, just we've progressed under Cooper. Everybody's progressing at the same pace. That's why a worry of Lascelles and Bale coming in sideways and then potentially dragging people back with them would upset too much for me.
you think on one slight positive spin, though, bringing a Bale in, do you think it could help bringing youngsters through, though, in training, like a Johnson?
Help Johnson now. It can help Brennan now.
Because I have heard Bale has taken Johnson under his wing, in a sense.
But the thing, right? This time is going, but the thing with Bale coming in, like I said, he's been there, done that, got the T-shirt, he's done things with Real Madrid. Coming to Forest and helping the players like Brennan Johnson or the other young players, like even like Maitland. Will they get what will they gain from Bale? A lot from him. Well, I mentioned it. I want players that are hungry. I don't want players like you can mention Harry Arter, Ireland international, good player. And what happened to him? Nothing. So
I think just to sum it up on my end, Dylan summed it up, right? Yeah, straight up. Dylan summed it up. Gareth Bale, if he was to join us, right, if he played 10 games, had a stinker in every game, you just know, he knows, we all know, he's going to be in the Welsh team. So Bale's in a no-lose situation. He's guaranteed to be the first name on the sheet for Wales. So, you know, if he did come to us and he didn't put a work rate in and you could see he's not running back and tracking back and do all the thing off the ball, blah, 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 he knows in the back of his head, I'm having criticism, but I know I'm going to be nailed on for the Welsh team.
100%.
So
I think the move for Gareth Bale is definitely Cardiff. You know, why not? Because that one
tough league championship, though, they'll rough him up in that league.
Well, they might do, but he's going to be 10 times better than anything around him, isn't he?
Yeah, true, yeah.
And again, just for a confidence thing, just for sort of being the Billy Big Balls, you know, just that kind of player. Do you know what? If we signed him and he came in, I'd go, great. With Forest, did we ever think we'd sign Gareth Bale? Well, we did.
And it'd be live on his channel as well. But
we almost did back in the day.
Well, we did.
3 million or something. Yeah.
But if you sign him, you know, you take him, don't you? Because again, everyone we spoke about, if Steve Cooper goes and signs him, in Cooper we trust. You know, we trust him to get some out. You've got players like Lewis Grabban saying they're still learning things. They're still learning things, you know, from Steve Cooper at his age. And Lewis Grabban then listened to anyone for the last 5 years. Listen to a soul. You know, so again, if he signs him, you go with it. But you know, I think we concluded. I think we got our own way, Dylan. No doubt.
Well, the only one thing I want to say is the whole shabam of Forest and signings and who we bring in. What we need to do is take the sentimental value out of everything, and we've just got to build a team to compete in that league. So we can't go on like with the Samba situation and stuff like that. Are you playing? Yes or no? If you're not, we're getting someone else. Do you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we need survival. Players come and go. And
Exactly.
That's it.
I think the chairman in Nottingham City Centre, not the chairman, the owner in Nottingham City Centre made that clear, didn't he? When he pointed at Brian Clough and he says, "You've got great history." He says, "But now we make our own," and that's the sentiment. That is Forest. Brian Clough, the history is what we have been for all this time. You know, and it's great to embrace it, but when it comes to signings, like you say, Dylan, a great point there. It can't be about sentiment. I said right at the start, you know, you look at the squad and go, "Oh, I love Zinchenko, oh, I love Joe Lolly, I love, you know, all these kind of players." But where we've gone to is going to surpass some of these players. You know, somebody's got to go somewhere. Otherwise, we'll probably finish bottom three and get relegated. I think we've probably got enough to stay up in all reality.
Yeah.
But there's stuff, there's places around the team. You know, Colback at left back's done amazing. But we need a left back. You know, we need a one.
A quality one.
Different kettle of fish in the Premier League.
Exactly. And that's what we're saying about the sentiment. You know, it's easy saying these guys have done this job. And yes, we all want them to get a chance to some degree. You know, Yatesy, absolutely brilliant. He's been amazing. I think he's going to get a go. But do you know, he's got to go again. There's other players in the team. Joe Worrell's got to go again. And if they don't, then it's going to be a transition as well, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? But I think Cooper's the right man to manage the situation, the way he deals players, and Marinakis is the one who's going to drive it from a we're going forward.
Last bit, Stephen, last bit.
Yeah, and just sum it up. What we got to realise as Forest fans, 23 years, right? We've been stuck in the lower leagues. We've got to wrap our heads around the fact now, with these numbers being thrown around, 20 million, 30 million. We're in with the big boys now. We've got to wrap our heads around this now. The money we're going to throw around, we've been so used to 5 million a year, 100 grand there, free transfer loan.
2 million.
2 million. When that playoff last Sunday, right? I got home, right? First thing I seen, Gareth Bale linked to the Forest. I'm just like,
that's the first thing I seen. Gareth Bale was linked. I was like, well, I went to bed straight away.
Yeah, Gibbs White linked with 20 million. We just got to wrap our heads around it. It might take a couple of weeks, but we are in with the big boys now. And when we are going to spend up to 100 million, this is a different kind of planet now we're living on. We ain't going to sign cheap players now. We have to go, like Des said, we need our squad. If we can, I want us to get Gibbs White. I think he's class.
Has to be quality.
Got to be quality. Got to be quality over quantity. I know they're thinking of doing the 5 subs, so we need and we're on TalkSport today about the concussion as well, the concussion subs. So all these kind of things, we need good strength and depth. We need a left back. I agree with Des. Colback's a great player, but we need a balance in the side. We need a world class. If it is Samba or someone else, you need a top keeper in the Premier League, because we are going to concede more than we're going to score, I think. And we just need a top end striker. The money we're going to throw around we're not just used to it. We haven't had it for 23 years. Because back in '99, the top end of the spending was like £2 million. 100%.
And one position we need to improve on, just to finish off, is the middle of midfield.
Yeah.
For as great as those guys have been, we need a real quality.
Alongside Ryan Yates.
Eh?
Alongside Ryan Yates.
Yeah, alongside Ryan Yates. But again,
I think we need better than Ryan Yates.
Colback, because I've loved him for so long and I've stuck by him for so long. But I don't think he's going to be good enough as a left back. And again, he was a player on the drop, wasn't he, when he came from Newcastle? They didn't deem him good enough to play. So again, a midfield player, they've got roles to play. Don't get me wrong. Yates, Colback, Garner, whoever, Zinkenor, whoever fits in have got roles to play. But imagine a Sander Berg in there.
Yeah.
That changes the dynamic of your team like that. That team, the one position more than any, possibly even more than left back, if you're not disregarding Max Lowe and Colback to some degree, the one position we need more than anything is the middle of midfield. Because keeping the ball is absolutely crucial. Keeping hold of the football. Keenan Davis will do it up there. Brice Samba's distribution is good. Brennan Johnson runs with the ball.
McKenna's good with the feet, yeah.
Yeah, keeping it in the middle of midfield and having that combative player who can do a bit of everything. Every good Premier League team's got one, haven't they? Whether it's Youri Tielemans or Kante and I'm not talking that level just yet, but you need some real quality in the middle of midfield.
100%. I'm just going through the comments before we do go. I got a super chat. Again, thank you for the £2. We are Premier League, baby. It's just weird,
baby.
We're talking about players like Bale. We've talked about Bale for 25 minutes. It's weird. It's just weird. My guy's here. I've got to look for this comment. He's back on the chat watching this. There he is, Kevin Campbell. Just wait until Thursday when it fixes out. I hope you almost go. Kevin, we'll get Arsenal on Thursday. We'll get Arsenal on a Friday night, 8:00, and we'll beat you lot. So shout out to my guy Kevin. How are you doing, Kevin? Yeah, I'm excited. I can't wait. We're talking about Premier League football.
I honestly think they're going to swing it where we're going to get Liverpool home first game. 30 years in the making from the first ever game on Super Sunday. I think we're going to get Liverpool home. Whatever game we got first, we're on Sky anyway.
Listen to me. Me personally, I don't care who we get. We're in the Premier League.
Oh yeah,
If it's something like no, right?
No.
We don't want Bournemouth. We don't want
Bournemouth.
No. You won't get them.
Listen, listen. I don't want Bournemouth or Fulham first game. No way.
It'll never happen.
No
It won't
chance.
happen. It won't happen.
It's not going to happen. But there's no chance. I don't want Fulham and Bournemouth first game. But I don't know if I'll do a live. I don't know if I'll do a live stream or pre-record for that one. But I'll let people know. It's been a good show. It's been a fantastic show. Everyone, like I said, we've had topics about players leaking, but whoever we've signed, I will do a live stream on who we signed, who be gone. But so people look out for that. But yeah, boys, it's been a great show. Thank you for Dylan, Steve, and the Duke Daily. Make sure everyone subscribes to the channel. Hit the like button as well. 123 likes, and there's 240 as well. Get Des to 600 people. Get Des to 600 before the stream does.
Have you had any Des? Well, we've been on here.
Des.
About 3.
People, get subscribed to Duke Daily. His link is below. Go and subscribe to his channel. Before we do go, like I said, we are in the Premier League. I'll be doing Des is going to do his own show. So Des will be doing the show every Monday. So people, let's see, look at his face. He will be having a show as well. If people want to come on the show,
what kind of show?
Like to be in the Premier League.
Dining with Des.
Hey? Calling. So there's a Des will have his own show, and I think me and Ellie, if we know Ellie, we'll be doing something together as well. Lee Goodburn as well. He's going to do his own show as well. So there's loads of plans coming in. So it's a new journey, people. A new journey from the channel. We're back in the Premier League. Like I said, if Bale's just signed, we'll have someone from Real Madrid coming on my channel to talk about Bale. Anyone. So it is what it is.
Get someone from the local golf course as well. They'll know him quite well.
But like I said, people, it's been a great show. Like I said, we'll look for these comments as well. Forest will get positive in game and Chelsea away. No, Vicky, whatever you've seen, that's a fake. That's a fake one. So I won't read into that at all. So
there's no way they would leak that.
Nah, there's definitely like Kevin said, get me back on. Kevin, you're not coming back on, Kevin. You're not coming back on. If Forest get Arsenal first game, I'll get you back on, Kev. But yeah, Kev, of course you come on, Kev.
Don't worry, come on my show, Kev.
Come on, Kev. Come on this show because you need some you need some help. But yeah, Kevin Campbell's definitely come back to the show. But it's been a pleasure, like some people. We're back in that. As well, I've got to remember, I've done a video. A video's coming out at 6 o'clock tomorrow, but members can watch it now. So there's the show about. I'm not going to say a secret, but members can watch it now. So if you want to, after this show, members only. If you want to be a member, be a member now, so you can watch it. So I know Des going to watch it after this show because it's quite funny. So I'm not going to hint. So tomorrow, 6 o'clock, for people who's not member can watch it. So, but every day I'll be live and do a pre-record or whatever. So yeah, people, please go on. Make sure you do subscribe. I've 127 likes. People hit the subscribe button if you can, please. Right, thank you everyone for everyone taking part. Dylan, Steve, Des, it's been a pleasure. The fixtures, like I said, the fixtures come out Thursday, and I think I'll do a live stream. I will do a live stream Thursday. I can't wait. I'm excited. Who is excited for the fixture list?
Yeah,
who is excited? I can't wait. Premier League.
Bournemouth away first game. Come on.
No, dude, shut up.
Do you know what? I reckon it's going to be home on the 6th of August because the Riverside Festival's here.
Oh, yes.
So that's the weekend. So
I think we're going to have Wolves away. That's my prediction.
You know what? Nobody's dreading these fixtures like I am.
Right. This is what I hate about people. Right. No, shut up. Right. Listen, this is what I hate about Des, right? He's getting married while we're in the bloody Premier League. Des, why can't he get married before the Premier League?
Do you know what?
Here we go.
In my defence, every year, the weekend of the 3rd of September is International Week.
Oh, yeah. International Week in September?
No, because of the bloody World Cup in Qatar.
Yeah, they're not doing an international break now, are they, in September?
So it should be the international break, and now we're in the Premier League, and I'm absolutely... and the dues at Tunbridge Cricket Ground. So
And we'll have Man City home.
There could be Man City at home at 5:30.
Freaking hell! Oh, no. This is just completely wrong, man. I've had enough of this, man. Right, people, I'll get going. It's been a great show. Like I said, members only can watch the video if you can straight after the show. Wednesday, I will do a show. Thursday, like I said, the fixtures are out. And every day I'll bring a video out because I can. So thank everyone for watching the I think it was 250 people that was watching. So thank you everyone. If you can, people, just help me out. Subscribe if you're new. Hit the like button. And if you want to email me any questions regarding, like I said, it's a new season. I saw a comment about a camera as well. I don't know if it was want to buy me a camera. Just email me if you can. But it's been a pleasure, people. Right, thank you everyone. That was long. Hour and 36 minutes. So Bale, bloody Bale. Right, peace out, with people. And I'll see you soon. Up the Reds.
Let me leave.